Hello and welcome to Find It this Wednesday evening. I'm so glad you're here. I want to let you know that before we get started, this episode is brought to you by Studio 11 Style. And Studio 11 Style is my online boutique, and I have an app just for you. I would love for you to grab that free app so we can stay connected. And I also want you to know that the guest I have on this evening is also a model for me and my sister. This is her right now modeling her Studio 11 style. And if you are on the app, you'll see she and I and a bunch of other girls modeling clothes just for you. It's more than fashion. It's a lot more than fashion, but fashion's fun. So with no further ado, our guest tonight is Victoria Schultz Ward. She is my oldest sister, and she is the absolute best. Not only is she a great sister, but she has served our country in the Army. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is a friend. She is a grandmother, a daughter, and everything you can think of that every strong woman can be. She is that. So with no further ado, I'd like to show her video, and she will be right back with us. Hello, we are here. This is my sister. She is in studio with us tonight. Yes. And listen, while I'm having all fun and laughy and smiley, this is a big deal to her to be on this show and to tell her story about life, body image, her weight loss journey, and how she feels about that. So when you listen to her story today, I want you to feel it through your heart and peace for her. And I don't want there to be any judgmental anything about this, because this is full transparency. This is her story, and I think it'll be cathartic for her, but also it can help a lot of other people. So welcome, my sister. It's already like, she's very emotional about this.
It's okay.
I want to talk to you. Let's start with, when can you first recall your body image issues begin?
Probably second grade. I've always had a unhealthy obsession with body image. From the time I was really little, I can remember looking at thin people and thinking, why can't my belly be little like that? And that's not healthy. I know. I remember in the fourth grade having my tonsils removed. And because my throat was so sore, I was impacted too, not being able to eat for 2 weeks, but getting excited because my stomach went flat. I mean, what fourth grader is like that, my children, my grandchildren, everyone is like, oh my God, did she ever talk about anything else? But she's on a diet. She's on a diet. Anyone that I've worked with for 38 years at the paper mill has watched my weight go up and down and up and down. Yeah. I'm just going to read off a few things, and I'm sure this is a lot of people.
Oh, what did you write?
Not just me.
This is your thoughts?
This is what all. In ninth grade was when I first lost weight, but it was through nearly being anorexic. When a boy showed interest in me, I just quit eating. I kind of starved myself and got real thin for that freshman dance. And
so you wanted to like fit in the dress or something? Like you wanted to be extra thin because you
No, it was the first time a boy had given me attention. You know what it's like when you're first getting those hormones. That curbed my appetite.
Okay, but then so it curbed your appetite. But to you, did you always think that being thin equated to being beautiful?
I always equated being thin as being happy. But anyway, my mom always helped me too. She would tell me, well, now if you're sure you're really hungry, go take a walk around the block. And if you're still hungry, you're more than welcome to eat another plate of food, but it takes a while for your, so she kept me in kept me in check. And when I went in the Army and she came to see me at my graduation from Army, where you were forced to go through all the chow lines, which prior to the Army, I never, ever ate breakfast. And by the time you got to the front of the line, they wouldn't let you skip the line. I'm like, I had packed it on. Of course, you exercise like a freak in basic training as well. And that stimulates appetite. And when she took a look, she said, oh, look what happened to my daughter without me.
Without her
thumb on me. Yeah, without her. But anyways, I had tried, after I had my daughter, I went on diet pills. I've been on Weight Watchers. I've been hypnosis. I've been to numerous different church programs, which I am a Christian. And that's my biggest hang up with coming clean about being on the shots, is because I do believe that our superpower is the Holy Spirit. I do believe that there's nothing you can't do without God.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a cop out. But all these things that I've done is also like a cop out, because I've done the fasting, the intermittent fasting, the prepared meals and snacks that you buy. Mm-hmm. I've tried eating all fruits and vegetables and extreme amounts of exercise, like 4 hours a day. That's not healthy either. I mean, that's obsession. So then I tried to do it all in moderation, thinking this is idol worship. You know, I need to learn to just eat all things in moderation and only exercise an hour or two a day. Well, my weight gradually climbed back up. Eventually I would find myself back on diet pills again. It was a vicious cycle of trying to give it to God and then take the easy way out over and over again. And then I can't remember the year without looking, I think it was 2003.
That's close.
I had November, I had gastric bypass surgery, and I was so excited because I was like, this is it. They said, your stomach's going to be the size of an egg. You're not going to be able to tolerate sugar. Oh my gosh, I already am an exercise freak. I already know the right things to eat. I could be a personal trainer as far as the head knowledge, just not.
You're right. There is no one I know that's more knowledgeable about you about health and exercise.
So I thought, I get gastric bypass. I'm not able to eat sugar and only allowed to eat this little bit of food. I'll be lucky to stay 120. I'm going to be skinny, you know. Well, you know what? I could eat sugar. And out of the gate, when I got back to work, people were like, oh my gosh, can you eat that much? And I had a friend at work, and it was a guy friend. And he said, you know what? Your problem isn't the size of your stomach. You've got something wrong in your head. He said, there's something wrong with your thinking. And I thought, you know what? He's right. Because I would know I had enough to eat. I knew the quantity was enough, but there was no shut-off valve. I always still never felt satisfied. And even if I did feel somewhat satisfied, I didn't want to quit till it was gone, not just, say, well, I've had enough. There was no shut off. And, it's funny too, because there's a girl that I ran into at Planet Fitness when I was working out, and we know, you see it when there's someone else that's shared that exact same struggle and done the same thing, where you've
over and over
seen them working out like a banshee and blood red, just working out and giving it their all and trying so hard and just beating their head up against the wall, and the weight just never stayed off, and it was just always a struggle. And I saw this girl and I'm like, oh my gosh, you look fantastic. And she looked at me and said, you do too. Isn't it wonderful how much medicine has come, how far it's come?
Yeah. And I said to you, when you told me that, I said, what did you and she goes, no, it's obvious, Debbie, that if someone has always struggled, but now there's this something available. So then you've told what we're really talking about,
right,
where today. This weight loss journey has brought her.
So yeah. So then here's the other part of the story. I have a girlfriend that has supported me for 25 years on exercising with me, saying you can do it, coaching me through it, and watching me struggle over and over and over again. And she said to me last March of 2023, she said, Vicki, why don't you just go on those shots? I'm like, well, I don't even know what are you talking about? I had never, maybe I was under a rock or whatever, but I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, well, yeah, I've got friends that's lost 100 pounds. You've done everything else. What's it going to hurt? Just try it. So I got the information, I don't have insurance. So I went to a clinic. I'm going to need a little more dry mouth stuff.
Sure. Or here, you want a sip of water too?
I've got my own water here. But anyway, I made the appointment and they put me on semaglutide, which is a generic for, I believe, Ozempic or Wegovy, one of those.
Well, wait, are you sure? I want to know so they know.
They can look it up. It's
Say it again.
semaglutide. It's a
Semaglutide.
generic for one of
Mounjaro?
No.
It's some.
No. Semaglutide, what it does when you take this shot is it slows down digestion so the food stays in your stomach longer. I was on that from April 1st of 2023 until January
of this year.
No, January 1st, 2024. And in that 9 months, let's see, I've got it written down here. I lost 20 pounds. And all along, my mom would say, "You're wasting your money. You're wasting your money. You can do that on your own. You can." I said, "Well, Mom, everybody says trust the process." But I'd get so frustrated because I joined these support groups that's on Facebook. And all these people would say, "Oh my gosh, I can't eat. The thought of food just nauseates me. I have to force myself." Well, that was never like that for me. Just like the gastric bypass didn't slow me down much. I mean, it did help somewhat.
Well, it was a recuperation process too.
But I lost 70 pounds in a year after gastric bypass. So someone else, a lot of people lost 100 pounds in 6 months. I'm not going to name names because that's their story to tell.
Of course.
But anyways, what I'm saying is I've always battled the weight loss. And so I'm like, I don't get it. Why am I able to eat? Why isn't it make me sick? I don't get it. So finally I was like, to the point, I'm like, I think I'm just give up. And I told my doctor and she said, "Let's try you on the generic for Mounjaro because it doesn't work just on the slowing down of your digestion. It works on a chemical in your brain." And that was the answer for me.
So that guy all those years ago that said something's wrong up here was right.
You need your head operated on. There's something wrong with you.
Well,
so once I got on that, I lost weight for me fairly rapidly. The months of like January, February, March, I lost over 20 pounds in those 3 months. But I've been on that since January. So I've lost 30 pounds in 7 months. But I have gained a lot of muscle because encouragement from several friends. I have been doing a lot of weightlifting. I, for the first time in my life, am content. I'm totally okay with the wrinkles. I'm fine with that. I'm going to be 65 this week.
This Saturday.
And it's the first time in my life I've ever said, I'm okay. Because for one thing, no matter what I weighed, and I have gotten down as low as 157 eating those diet pills before too. So I'm only 7 pounds under where I was, but I'm so much smaller because of the weightlifting. And I never had the definition that I have in my abdominals now.
You have abs showing.
But
from all that work.
I do work out 2 hours a day, and that still might be a little excessive, but I enjoy that. To be honest, my next step that I'm really going to try to do is to try to see how I can do weaning myself off the medication and see if I can maintain through the Lord's help. I think it's very, very important not just to be happy mentally and physically, but you have to be there spiritually.
Absolutely.
And I'm taking the Emmaus walk. I don't know if any of you
Gwen Thomas is involved with that.
It will be a 3-day time without a phone, without a watch, without any outside distractions, except going deeper into your relationship with Christ. And I do read my Bible every day. I try to do that first thing in the morning. I have a close friend, Sherry, that I thank God for, that we keep each other accountable on our Bible reading and prayer life. And I have a very supportive church, which only very few people at my church have I confided this in. Because I do feel like it's saying, "Oh yeah," that's the worst part of it for me. Not the money, not that I want to lie to people and say I did it on my own. The biggest concern for me was, as my Christian witness, to say I needed this because God wasn't enough for me. When I do feel God is enough.
This is her now. My little sister.
That picture looks even better than me, though. The lighting was
Now,
just
see,
great.
why do you do that?
Because it's a great picture.
No, why? Yeah, but why do you do that to yourself?
Okay.
That's how you look. That's a problem too.
Well,
We're gonna have to do
anyways,
something about that.
my little friend, I've got so many different workout partners that I praise God for all of them. I've always said you can't have too many prayer partners or too many workout partners, because both things help clear your mind. If you're having a really rough day,
yeah,
you go, well, I was running, but that ship sailed. Girlfriend done pulled her hamstring, and I can't sit very long.
Yeah, she's on the stool right now going, I said, could you
I
shift
can't
your body
sit very
this way
long,
a little
yeah.
bit? She's like,
I don't think so.
That's the hamstring that hurts. I was like, oh, sorry.
But, when you're 65, you have no business running on a treadmill. And
why not?
Well,
You just don't have to run aggressively.
No, because I also have the deformed foot that's the other thing. It's worth it to have the shots just to be out of pain. I could not mow the grass. I could not. Every day when I did exercise, every day I did it.
You did it anyway.
But I took enormous amounts of ibuprofen, which now has given me, kidney disease. So I can't take the ibuprofen anymore. So this has been a godsend as well, because now I can mow the grass. Now I can walk 20,000 steps a day, and I'm not hobbled up and got my foot up in the air with an ice pack, So,
yeah. So even though you were in pain with your foot, you still powered through and walked to. It's important for us to get exercise, right? I mean,
I exercise even when I was at my peak 285 before gastric bypass.
Let's still put that picture up on the screen, Lynn.
I still walked
the red.
Yeah, I still walked the whole flood wall.
Now, before we take this picture down, I just want you to check the curls.
I hate that picture.
No, look at her hair. So this is her natural. Her hair's been straightened today. Her granddaughter did her hair today. It looks so cute. But she has really gorgeous, naturally curly hair, way more curly than mine is. And I just think it looks really pretty there. But yes, that was her body prior to, she went up and down.
Okay. Yeah. And that's another thing. There were seasons in my life. I used to write down my weight the first of every month for over 10 years. And I would also make notes. Drug-free, only giving it to God, and maintaining, getting down around 170 and feeling really happy. Now, I don't know if I was trying to pick it up and do it on my own without the Lord or what happened, but there's just been so many times where I've done it each way on the diet pills with God and all that. But anyway,
I don't know, but let's bring this up too. The fact that you had written all of that down for so many years, that was an obsession too.
Oh yeah. It's always been an obsession.
And I think if you're thinking about, I got to lose weight all the time, I think it's going to make you hungry.
Well, I don't know, but this is the first time in my life that I still think of food a lot. And I still enjoy eating an enormous amount. And that's the thing. I'm maintaining 150. I've been bouncing between 148 and 151 for about 3 months, and just staying right there. And that's where I want to stay. I don't want to lose any more weight. I'm content at the weight I'm at, but I don't want to go over 150 either.
Yeah, and that's a healthy weight for you.
Yeah.
At your height too.
But it's the first time in my life that I can eat till I'm satisfied and then not worry about putting the rest in the fridge.
And this is her now wearing Studio 11 style.
Yeah,
coat.
I love that coat. I'm going to have that coat.
Yeah, I know you are. So it's just interesting because I've been on this journey with her. She's my sister. I have never had a day of my life without her in it because she's my oldest sister. So think about that. Yep. You've lived life without me, but I've never lived life without you. And I've witnessed it, and you can't cheer talk someone out of what she's gone through. Okay. So I love the fact that there's something available. So for me, and we all think differently, so don't only hate on this, but for me, and I'm a Christian woman also, I feel like, wow, God has inspired doctors to learn new techniques for surgeries, knew this, knew that. Well, guess what? Now people who have struggled with weight and that are unhealthy because of the weight, whether mentally, physically, or both, now there's something that can help them.
Well, just like a heroin addict, when they come clean off heroin, they're still on Suboxone, but it keeps them from going to the heroin. Well, I'm a true food addict. And I'm telling you right now, I have members in my family that love to eat, but they're not like me. They might eat what they want, but they don't think about it constantly. That's just the way my whole life I was.
But you're not going to be like that
if
now.
I wasn't eating, I was thinking about it or planning the next one. And this medication, not the first one.
So say it again.
Not the semaglutide, but I took the generic for Mounjaro, which is, I can spell that for them.
Because I want them to know. And I mean, do you think it's appropriate to say where you get your shots or no?
I don't, they can.
Everywhere?
If people have insurance, you can go to your doctor, and if you're so far overweight, they will help you to get on it, and your insurance can pay. If you can't afford insurance, or you
don't have it for whatever reason,
then they make it a little more affordable because they have what they call compound pharmacies. But I don't really care to get into the cost and all that, because it all depends on the strength you're on, your dosage and all that, and I'm not going to go there. But I will tell you how to spell it. This generic for Mounjaro that has been a success story for me is TIRZEPATIDE. And I'm sure most everybody already knows that anyway. But I'm not even sure the correct pronunciation, but I call it tirzepatide.
And that's the generic for Mounjaro.
And that's what has worked for me. I honestly do believe Mom was right. The whole time I was on that semaglutide, losing 1 to 2 pounds a month.
Yeah.
It probably was from just the gym and stuff. But, it's just, I think I've always said I'm a freak of nature. The gastric bypass didn't work. This didn't work. That didn't work. And there's another friend that when she told her story on Facebook and I read it, I felt like I was reading my own story, and I feel like I could say her name because she's put it there.
It's up to you. Do I know
Raquel?
Her? Oh, Raquel Savage.
Raquel
Mount Preston. Yeah.
We're both Virgos. I just found that out because her birthday's today. But she's always been so beautiful. She is. Gorgeous. At any rate, she's just a beautiful and a great person, and I love her personality. But when I read her story, when she put that on Facebook, and she's like me, semaglutide didn't work on her either. It wasn't until she got on the Mounjaro that she's like, oh, this is what it's like to get full. Hey,
whoa!
This is what it's like not to obsess about food 24/7. And what a blessing it is to be able to, for the first time in my life, not wear black head to toe.
Your uniform was always black.
To be able to, I mean, I wanted to go. I was almost relieved I had a good reason not to go to my sister's book signing. And I knew how important that was to her. But I'm like, what am I going to wear? Which pair of sweatpants and shirt am I going to wear to that?
I didn't know that was the reason.
It was part of it, but there was a death in a family of some children that I adored. And I felt like I did need to be there for their mother's funeral and to help serve the food at the church. But at the same time, I was relieved that I had the real good reason, because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to wear. I'm embarrassed.
Well, you know what? That's a real thing, though. I mean, that's a real thing for women, especially. If there's something important, that you need to go to, it can be daunting if you don't feel good.
Now I have so many Studio 11 clothes. I'm looking for events. What can I go to? Invite me to something so I can decide what to wear. It's a whole different life for me, because before I was just always so ashamed of myself and body shaming and just.
Okay, so I have another question.
What?
So what about, and I don't know the answer at all. I don't know if you're still, so you had gone through bouts of depression. Do you feel now that the depression was because of body image?
I've always told my doctors that I thought I said, I think the only reason I'm depressed is because I'm so fat. I think if I could just be a good weight, I wouldn't be depressed. And I have backed myself off. I just talked to my doctor today at the VA because they said, why haven't you called to get your antidepressants filled? And I said, because I've weaned myself from 2 a day to 1 a day. And I'm going to level that out for a while. You can't make drastic things with this. They say it's a chemical imbalance in your brain and that you can become suicidal and yada, yada. And I may have to always stay on the one single dose. I don't know. But I have a physical in October, and I'm going to discuss with my physician maybe trying to go to 1 pill every other day. But there's just a lot going on right now. I also want to try to wean myself to smaller doses and see if I can maintain my weight without. But if it comes to I'm gaining it back, I told my husband, I said, baby, I'm going to be on these shots till I die or go broke because I'm so much happier than I've been in so many years. And he says it's worth every penny. He's a lot happier because I'm happier. I'm like,
when mama's happy, everybody's happy. Well, that's the thing though, too. So if the generic of the Mounjaro does something that helps brain activity in some way.
I wish they could just shoot it in there and let me get
yeah, right. Could you just shoot it right here, double dose it up? But then maybe that is going to take care of depression issues along with your weight at the same time, because that's what is happening. Right? I mean, we're not physicians. Oh, also Debbie, disclaimer right here. We are having a conversation,
but
two sisters with you. We're telling you, well, she's telling you what she's doing. That does no way mean that we're physicians and we're able to give you.
And the other thing is too, there's still lots of life things, just because I have lost weight and I'm comfortable in my own skin now and not miserable with my weight. There's still a lot of things that go on in life and with family and with relationships and bothersome things that I have to take to the Lord in prayer, that hurtful things that's been done to me. And that I just am like, life doesn't get perfect because you've reached a weight where you're content. But I just think all the way around, it's easier to deal with my problems because I am happy with myself, and like I said, my next big step is this Emmaus walk. And I'm, I do want to take my faith deeper. I don't, whatever Pastor John always says, if you want to know who the God, Lord of your life is, look at your checkbook. If you're spending more on yourself than you are your tithing or building the kingdom or doing things to help support, bring other people up, that there may be a problem. So I'm like, is my idol worship just turned into Vicki? We got back her off. But I've had fun buying the clothes. I had to buy clothes.
Yeah, you did. You had to. But let me also say this, and I'm not disagreeing with Pastor John. Of course not. I believe that too. However, I am a believer in self because God made us in his image, and we are to take care of this vessel that he created for us to live this life in. And if you're not taking care of you, you're not taking care of anybody else.
Yeah, they say fill your own cup before you can fill others. And I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so take care of yourself for a minute, and let's in God's name right now not feel guilty about it.
Yeah, well, everybody always thinks I'm Catholic because they say you feel guilty about everything.
Yeah, natural guilt. Yeah,
but I do, and I do, and I do. I get conviction about a lot of things, and take it to the Lord in prayer. But I was, when I was at 285, I just was like, well, actually, I just didn't even really care about going on if it wasn't for starting to have grandchildren and stuff. I was like, I was just miserable. So
yeah, and you know what? This is truth right now. This is full transparency, and you have been so vulnerable and telling your story. And now what you need to do, if someone asks you about your weight loss journey, you can send them the link to this podcast. It's all in there.
That's what started happening too. I loved that picture. That was one of my workout partners, Hilly,
that picture.
A little Chinese neighbor that's so good to me and encourages me all the time. And she said, "Oh, you never wear jeans.
Oh, you can't imitate her.
You look so good.
She
Please
is not
let me
imitating
take
her.
your picture. Let me take your picture, please. And I'm like, I don't have any makeup on. My hair's a mess. She said, just look. And when I got home, I didn't even remember to look at it that night. It was like the next day, I was like, wow.
Is that me?
That's a good picture. I'm posting that.
That's right, baby.
Well, after that, I started getting an awful lot of private messages from people saying, okay, I want to know what you're doing. You know, I don't have time to answer all those. And I just told Debbie, I said, even though it's going to be difficult for me and I'm not really super comfortable being on screen, I keep trying to scoot my head back because she's got that skinny head and I got my dad's hug head. She's like, well, you keep out.
Hey, Dad.
Here.
Hi, Dad.
So anyways.
That's so funny.
She's got the Kay Schultz little skinny.
Oh,
but anyway,
so you just want to tell people the truth. You don't want to lie.
I don't, and I never did lie to anyone. I did not advertise that I was on it. But if somebody point blank said, what are you doing? Are you on those shots? I'd be like, yeah. But
well, you know, and I feel like too, that's if someone asks you and you don't really want to answer, you don't have to. That's your prerogative. It's your life. But you don't have to lie, but you don't have to tell.
And that's true. That's true. But like I said, anybody that's known me for the past 40 years and watched me struggle and go up and down and up and down. And I even had that Genesis club at church, and man, we were all doing so great. And I did lots of research, and there have been times that I wasn't doing anything but giving it to God and was successful. And I think the reason it didn't work is because I quit giving it to God. So,
well, and maybe that's true, Vicki, but one thing is for sure, I choose to believe that things are brought to us and God inspires doctors and physicians. New medications are out every day to help all kinds of different things.
Right. So anyway, I hope and pray that God thinks it's okay that I'm on the shots.
God does. Look, it's like, did you just call him up, Debbie? How do you know? I'm
it's like, okay,
hey, God,
Dick.
I just have to talk to you about something because my sister's feeling guilty again. And also we're about done. Look, she does this to me all the time when we do our live streams, and she's like, when she's done. She was pinching my back.
I told everything.
There's
nothing else.
You gave it out. You gave it out. And also, when you pray, give it up to him. And then if you keep worrying about it, that's a smack in his face. He said, you just gave it to me. Now you're still going to worry about it. Okay. We're just talking to the sisters now. All right, guys. I think Vicki is done. This has been a lot for her. So claps and love, lots of love, and
good luck to anybody else that perhaps has had a lifelong struggle. I can't help but recommend the Mounjaro. It has worked for me. I still have to exercise a lot to maintain 150,
and that's healthy anyway
on the shots. But you know,
that's
I've never lost, like some people lose 15 pounds a month. A lot of people do. A lot of people absolutely can't eat. They get violently ill, and the thought of food makes them sick, but not old Vic.
Not Vicki. She just comes straight through, strong and stronger every time. Like, I can eat it all. Hi, Lynn.
Vicki, I just trimmed this picture, and I'm going to put it back up there, but I want you to look at it because it's zoomed in, and I want you to enjoy this picture because you look beautiful. So hold on.
Okay.
Which one is it?
Oh,
girl. Look.
No, look at that picture.
Watch out. Look how good she looks.
Hilly's going to be tickled to death.
Hilly, thank you, Hilly, for being so good to my sister and being such a good neighbor.
And before we leave, we have a couple things we want to take care of before we leave.
What do we want to take care of, Len? Tell me.
So you wouldn't be here if it wouldn't be for two people. So
oh my gosh, you know what? And so
we
discussed that Vicki's birthday is coming up. We have a little special gift for her. Thank you, Len. Watch.
Happy birthday to my firstborn, who looked exactly like a little Cupid doll. I thought I had the most beautiful baby in the whole ward. And that happened to be you. I love you very much, and I hope your day goes perfect.
Yeah, I love my parents so much. And every single day that I go to work out, I go to get a hug from my dad before and after. I give my parents some lovins.
Well, speaking of
Your
that,
dad. And I want you to, when this comes up, I want you to be in the side, okay?
I don't have
Okay.
pink
No,
hair. I don't
no,
know what's
hold
going
on.
on.
Hold
Oh,
on. Okay,
Okay.
push her to the side. I want her reaction.
this way. It'll come on.
You guys got me laughing. Happy birthday, Vicki. Oh, we love you.
We love you so much.
Ah, yeah.
Do you have any memories of when the day she was born, Dad?
Yes, dude.
What is it?
You tell him. We didn't know what was going to be. And everybody told me, you're going to have a boy.
And then?
Out popped a girl. Well, I thought that was a pretty good idea. I've done it a couple more times.
Love it. So then he went on to have 2 more girls, and he loves us girls. Let me
and
tell you.
66 years for them September 18th.
Yeah, they've been married 66 years in
and
September.
They still talk to each other like they're dating. It's the
It is
sweetest thing.
and it also puts a lot of we thought that
Yeah, we were disappointed in any man.
It's
Wasn't
like-
nobody gonna hold up that
it's like, is
standard.
this what like it's in we have really good husbands. We
Yes.
do. However, they always get along, at least in front of us.
Mhm.
And so we just thought that's the way it's gonna be. And then when it's
Yeah.
not always getting along, it's like, what's the problem here?
No, that one day I posted on Facebook about it because they didn't know I was there, and I assumed
Oh,
they
yeah,
heard
tell
the
this.
door slam, and I could hear them.
So you came in and they didn't know you walked into the
No,
house.
they didn't know I was in the kitchen, and I thought they heard the door slam because I heard Mom say, "Marvin, you didn't give me my hug yet." And then I heard him squeeze her real tight, and her grunt and say, and then he said, "Happy birthday, baby."
Oh, that's right. It was on
It
her
was
birthday
on her birthday,
in
and
July.
she goes, "Oh, I love you so much, sweetheart." And I'm thinking, boy, this is getting really sappy. Okay, so I reopened the door and
Slammed it.
shut.
So
And they
heard-
said, Mom said, "Well, Marvin, who could that be here this early?" They really didn't know I was
They
there,
didn't.
but that's the way
That's
they act.
them.
That's how they are all the
that
time.
is them. It
It's-
is the love
It's a real
of a
thing.
lifetime
It's a real thing.
that we were able
Fairy
to witness
tale.
our whole life. Yeah. They always had each other's back too.
Yep.
Well,
I
happy
feel
birthday, Vicki.
All
I'm
right,
getting
so
off the
The
screen.
birthday girl says this is a wrap.
It's over.
Okay. So, hey guys, this is a wrap. Thank you for joining us. I hope to see you again next week. Look, that hot sister I got there. Hot girl. And I will see you next week. And don't forget, if you're not on Studio 11 Style app, grab it. Have a great night. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That floats around me, keeping me